Alright, so here's the light. Um, I'll explain everything later. But basically, when I first installed it, I put it over here. I put it too far back. It didn't look that good when I closed the hood all the way. So I moved it forward. Here's the beginning where the wire begins, and then here's the very end. I cut it from, I think, the third cutoff line. So I started right where this plastic thing, this rubber thing starts. I started right there. So I believe it's the third cut line, if I remember right. But I cut it. If you're wondering what this is, I super glued it. I super glued it on the corners because I don't plan on taking these off. But I can get this off with Goo Gone. So, but yeah. One of the things you want to do before you install it is make sure this part underneath is super clean. Use alcohol and microfiber cloth. Just make sure there's no dirt or residue on there because it'll help it stick. Alright, so when I found out how I wanted to wire it, I took this plastic thing off, and it's super easy. These just pop like this, and then you can pull it off like that. So they all just press on this, all of them. There should be, I think, 6 of them or 8 of them. So you just take it off, and then they're easy to put back on. I'll show you. All you do is just press it in. It's hard to do with one hand. There you go. So when you put it back on, you just take that part out, make sure it's all the way out, and then you just put it back in. But I might have to take it off to show you how I ran the wire. But yeah, so that's another step you should do in the beginning, is take this off. Super easy. Don't lose these. When you pop it up, don't pull it out, because then they'll pop out and they might fall in. So you got to take them out each one by one. Alright, so I took these 4 out. So the wire goes from right here. I made it go through. Oh, can't see. Wire goes through there. Made it go underneath the headlight little bracket. So I unscrewed this and I lifted it up and I kind of squeezed the wire through. And I ran it underneath here. And that's where it starts. It goes under here. I zip tied this part to under the ballast is zip tied right here. It's kind of hidden, you can't really see. And then this is where the wiring starts. I'll explain that in the next one. So once you tap into the wire and you clamp this other side to the LED strip wire, this is what it'll look like, only with wires. So you'll have one wire going through this way from left to right, and then the other one coming up from the bottom or the side now. So it's pretty easy. This one does, the red color does 24 to 18 gauge wire, if I remember right. But yeah, you can also solder them, or you can, I have other clips, but I have to find them, but I use these, so I'll show you what it looks like right now. So the way I originally had it set up was I tapped into the low beam wire, and I just wanted the white light on the strip to turn on when I turn the low beams on. Well, when the daytime running lights turn on, the LED strip also turned on, and I didn't like it. So the white light only turns on with the parking lights. I tapped into the parking light, the orange parking light, side light, right there. You see the yellow wire. So that's actually for this light right here, this one. But I took the bulb out, so, but it still works. Also, the tricky part is getting to these wires. There's going to be electrical tape. You're going to have to cut into it, and you're going to have to push the plastic wiring cover, all this stuff. You're going to push it back, and it's a little bit difficult. There's not a lot of room, but that's what I had to do. It takes a little bit of time. So that's the driver's side. It's the same thing on the passenger side. Again, there's not a lot of room. On the passenger side, at least for my car, obviously we have the same car, but I don't know if the wires will be the same. For my car, the low beam, if you want it that way, for the headlight is the red wire. It's always going to be the top right one on the housing, on the harness. And then again, top right side for the driver's side, only it's black. So for the low beam on the driver's side, it's black. And then for the low beam on the passenger side, the wire is red. But again, and then over here, that's the turn signal wire. The turn signal on this side is purple for power and white and black for ground. Driver side, it is blue for power and white and black for the ground. So one of the issues I have with the lights, the white light at least, is if you tap it too much, if I tap onto that one, the red wire that's connected to the LED strip for the white light, if you tap it too much, it turns off and on. I don't know if that's just an issue in general, but I know my connections are good. I think it's just the wiring from the LED strip. Also, one of the things you want to do is, I have better lighting on this side. Once you put the little male connectors, the ones that plug into the headlight wires, it's hard to see, I put electrical tape to keep the wire in, because the wires are really thin. There's a chance that they could get pulled out or they could wiggle out, but you just have to clamp it really good. So I put electrical tape right there. It's hard trying to zoom in, right there, right here. So yeah, these right here are a pain in the butt to do because there's so little space and you can only pull out the harness so far. So that was the thing that I had you gotta have patience with. But passenger side, when I've pulled the wire through, same thing as the other side, which I showed you in a previous video. You're gonna have to unbolt this, take this bolt out to squeeze this part through. So this part was on this side. I took this off and then I just squeezed it on through, bolted it back on, and ran it down and around. So yeah, hope that helps. Sorry it's very shitty for explaining things, but it's the best I got.